there and welcome again to my channel. Today I will be showing you how to make a simple bodycon skirt using some stretch fabric. I am going to also just draft a simple pattern so you can keep that pattern and you can use it. It's going to be very simple, very easy. So to do this you'll need some stretchy fabric. You will need an inch measure. You will need some pins. You will need a sewing machine. You will need two scissors, one for cutting paper because I'm going to show you the pattern, and one which is a fabric scissors. You will need pens and pencils for writing on your pattern. You will need a bit of paper with your measurements on. And you will need some elastic. I've got an inch wide elastic and you will need 1 meter of that. So you'll need 1 meter of fabric, 1 meter of elastic, an inch measure, your measurements, some pins, a scissors. I'll put the fabric aside and firstly I'll show you how to construct this very easy, simple pattern to make this bodycon skirt. So you will need your measurement, you'll need your waist, your hip, and you'll need a length. I will put all the instructions down below, so don't worry, there will be everything ready for you. Here I've got a measurement and I'm going by waist 32, hip 41, and I'm going to use a length about 20. And I'm using inches here, sorry. So to start with, I've got a bit of paper here which is wider than my hip. So to make this skirt we're going to need our hip measurement minus 3 inches because it's stretchy, so you need the fabric to be, and this I'm leaving will include your seam allowance. So we're going to measure our hip measurement. We're going to go for our waist first. So our waist is 32 inches and we're going to use 1/4 of the measurement. That's why I've got this small bit of paper. So it's going to be our measurement divided by 4. So our waist measurement here is 32. We're going to minus 3, so it's 29, and we're going to divide that by 4. That takes us to 7¼ inch. So I'm going to round that up to 8 inches. So our waist, 8 inches, and that's 1/4 of our waist, right? And then our hip is 41 minus 3, so it's 38, and divide that by 4. We got 9½ and I round it up to 10. So we've got our sewing allowance in it because I don't use thick allowances, and you will see when I sew. And our length, I'm going for 20 and I'm going to add 2 inches onto that. So it's going to be 20. I'm going to add 2½ inches, sorry, and that's going to be 22½. I've got a nice edge down here, so I cut the bit from the top that I don't need. Hopefully I've got enough. Well, see, my bit of paper is only 20 inches, but I will add 2 inches when I come to. So that's my paper. So now we're going to go 8 inches up here, so we're going to go from that corner to there, and we're going to measure 8 inches. So 8 inches is here, so that's 8 inches. Your hip is 9 inches from your waist, so we come down somewhere here and we want 10. So we go and I mark 10. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to gently just use it, and then you come down. That's your skirt. Because you want a bodycon skirt, when you get to the bottom, right, I will do this for you. So I've used broken lines to join, and then I use my pencil to go down, right? And that's your skirt. See how simple you get this, and you can keep this, and every time you want a bodycon skirt you go back to this. Right, I'll move it in the corner here so you can can see it better, right? So when you get down to the bottom here, we are going to bring the bottom in by about, you can take however much you want it in by, but I'm going to take 1 inch off, and that is so you get that bodycon shape. So I'll go back from here with my broken line and not disturbing the hip. I come out. Okay, that's your bodycon skirt. So now I'm going to take my pen, and here, this is going to be your center back and front. That's your waist. That's your side seam. And right on it, bodycon skirt. And you need stretch fabric. Okay, what I'll do now, I'm going to use my paper scissors and I'm going to cut. Okay, so now you get 2 parts, you fold it over, so now you've got 4 pieces. Put your pattern on top. I still need to go a little bit over because you don't want to be wasting fabric here, and that way it might be better for you, because sometimes I forget that because I can sew, I just carry on. So we need 22 inches. So this is where I'm going to use my pin. And I don't really use a lot of pins, but I'll just put one there. And at the bottom, it's sew with lots of pins because I do sew partial. So to recap, our waist, we need 8 inches. So it's 8. Our hip is 9 inches below the waist, which is here. And our hip should be 10. So there we've got 10. We've drafted at 10 roughly. Because we need to come in, although our hip is 41, 42, we need to come in so it fits closer. If you want your skirt fitting tighter, you can still stitch it in more before you put your elastic in. So what I'll do, I'll cut. And I'll stop here. And I'll cut up. So I'll take that off, and that's our skirt, our bodycon skirt there. When you finish sewing, you might want the bottom to come in a bit more. You can always stitch it in if you want it tighter, but that's the gist of your skirt. Right, so I'll put these away and then I'll get the sewing machine ready. So now we'll use a straight stitch machine and we will sew both sides, having right sides together. There we go, that's what it looks like. Then I'll use my overlocker to make the sides neat. You can use zigzag on your normal machine if you don't have an overlocker, just to make the sides neat. Remember, it's stretch fabric. Sometimes stretch fabric is hard to sew. You also use your zigzag machine or your overlocker to neaten both top and bottom, where you'll have the waist and the hemline. So here I will be doing the waist and the hemline, making them neat. Now I'll measure my 29 inches of elastic ready for my waistband. Waist was 32 inches. When I cut 29 inches of elastic, this will stretch to 32 inches, making it nice and comfortable to wear. You cut your elastic and get rid of your excess. You fold your waistband over, ready for your elastic. Just measure your elastic using it as a gauge, as shown here, against your fabric. Remember, this is making it easy for you, so all of this, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Stick a pin in both sides and a pin to the back and to the front center, just so you hold it and you know that your measurements are correct for your waist elastic, and just hold them like as seen and measure them to make sure. When you're ready, set your waistband underneath your machine, all ready to sew. Feel free to get your elastic again for one last try and check against your sewing and make sure that your width is correct before you start sewing. Once you're comfortable, start sewing. Sew all the way around, and at the end leave an opening as shown to thread your elastic through. See? Right there you've got a little opening ready to thread your elastic through, and your waist sew should look like that. Now you're going to sew the hem, and at the hem you only need just a tiny hem. If you need a bigger hem, that's fair enough. A tiny hem. Here I think I'm using about, say, half an inch. I will check. I think I'm using there half an inch to show. Yes, half an inch I'm using for the hem. Because this is a stretch fabric, I gently hold it tight. I sort of make a gentle stretch on it when I'm sewing it, because sometimes sewing machines are hard to sew stretchy fabric. Make sure if you're using stretchy fabric you have polyester needle, because polyester needle makes it easy. Now I'm finished doing my sewing my skirt, so I go back to my waistband and I'm going to find my opening for my elastic, because now I'm ready to thread my elastic through my waist. I find my opening. You will need a large safety pin to do this. So you stick your safety pin through your elastic as shown, and you're going to thread that all the way around. Yes, this is an old method of doing it. If you've got a different method, that's fine. Feel free to use it. But I like using this method because it's safe, it's secure, and I'm just used to it. This is how I was being taught all the way back in Jamaica in the Caribbean. You thread your elastic all the way around, just gently pulling, so you're feeding your elastic through as you go. And at the same time, make sure your elastic is not getting twisted. It's staying flat as you push and pull and you thread it through. Just like I'm doing, just keep checking and make sure it's not getting twisted. If it gets twisted, you'll have to take it out and redo, so keep checking. Just keep pushing and pulling your elastic through like you're doing, just as seen. And at the end, you just gently pull your pin through and your elastic will follow. Once you get that through, remove your pin like you've seen here, and we are going to secure our elastic. We're going to use our zigzag thread. You can use the triple stitch or zigzag, and you just do that back and forth a few times. Now this secures your elastic in place and your elastic will not go undone. So like I'm doing, I've done that zigzag a few times. Just remember, it is very rewarding when you teach yourself to sew your own clothing. You can make whatever you want. So now that we've stitched our elastic, just gently pull it around and round, ensuring that there's no bulkiness anywhere. Make sure your elastic lays flat, and you just keep pulling and stretching and sorting and make sure that it's very flat. And see, now your elastic's very flat. You just need to just make sure it's nice and neat. Making your own clothes, you ensure it fits for you. You know that your waist fits, your hip fits. So it's a great reward to learn to sew you and to make something for you. Make a little skirt, make something else. You know, it's great. It's a great reward. It's really nice when you can do your own stuff. So here you go. See, you've made your own little stretch skirt, your own little bodycon style skirt. So now we need to close the little opening we've left for the elastic. So you just put your skirt once more, your waistband, under your machine as shown, and you're just going to make a straight stitch and closing that. You will never know you had an opening there. See, you've done it, you've made your skirt, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy wearing it. You are going to wear that skirt with pride. You're sure going to wear it with pride. It is really rewarding to wear what you've made. So there you go, that's done. And again, just pull on it, make sure everything's in place and everything's okay. So we've got one little thing next to do. At the side seam, we're going to make a straight stitch down the elastic, and that is to stop your elastic from rolling over when you wear your skirt. You might have to give your garment a little nudge like I've just done there, because the elastic will make it a bit thick. So you're going to do both sides like that, and if you want you can do both sides, and you can do the center back and the center front, just so it's not being rolled over and rolled over. So see, do the other side, and then that's it. Your skirt is done.